Hello everyone, welcome back to What's New in OCRP. And one of the biggest things right out of the gate that you have noticed in videos is the new Sandy Shores project by Reactive. It's called Sandy Shores Reborn. It adds so much more RP to the Sandy Shores area than the previous iteration. So it does come with some interiors. We have a sheriff station, we have the coffee shop that I'll show you in a minute, and we have the tavern that have been added, but really high quality stuff here. I can't say anything but great things about Reactive and this project. It has been a fantastic addition to OCRP. I'm sure you have seen the coffee shop here, so it is another interior in Sandy Shores Reborn. And the other location is Angel's Tavern Pub, which is a biker bar. A classic looking bar here and a fire pit to boot in the back right corner. A really nice place and another great addition to Sandy Shores. While we're in Sandy Shores, we need to talk about this whole new airport. This is Prompt's awesome Sandy Shores airfield. However, it has been completely redone and edited by our own Magnus. Myself and Magnus have spent many hours getting this airport into a place where we're happy. By default, there's a ton of hangars and a lot of different objects and collisions all here on this ramp. It has been removed. If we walk up to the door, it opens up and you can see in here is a big bay where you can have fire trucks or any kind of maintenance vehicles that you want. And we walk in here to the break room. You have a whole break room with couches and a TV. And then over here is the storage area. And we even have a low flying aircraft sign there as well. We go into this room that's basically a giant generator and where all the electrical is located in the building. And now we'll head over to the terminal. Walking into the terminal here, you can see you have a check-in for your flight and or for the skydiving in Sandy Shores. On this side of the terminal, we have seating and there are bathrooms as well. Authorized personnel only. This takes you back outside. There's another bathroom in here, and then there's a little office as well. Quite a few offices in this particular MLO. We're gonna go up the stairs and go to the second floor. It's where I conduct my flight school out of right there on the left. And then some more like cubicle spots here. And then a break room as well down at the end. We have a fire escape here we can go through, and it brings you to these stairs. And if we take these stairs all the way up, you can see that we have our rooftop access, which on the other side is where we were going to continue up the stairs anyway. And it's how you get up to the ATC tower. Walking up the final set of stairs, you can see right here is the ATC tower. You've probably seen it in some of my streams when I'm doing air traffic control, and we'll get into that stuff in a little bit. But a very cool asset, that's for certain. And there's even Touchdown Car Rentals behind it, and I'll show you that building next. So this is Touchdown Car Rentals. You can come in here and you have yourself a bean machine, coffee machine. Love the custom artwork in this project as well. And even in Reactive's Sandy Shores Reborn, there's a ton there. But this is the car rental place where you can get a car whenever you fly in. One cool addition to the Sandy Shores Reborn that I didn't show you before is that these umbrellas here will actually fold up and they'll put them away whenever it's nighttime when the lights come on. So here's the same spot at midnight. You can see the lights are on and all of those umbrellas are put away. So not only do we have a beach over here, we also have a movie theater, and yes, it can be used to play YouTube videos and other things like that, which is really cool. Other additions in Blaine County have been added, including all the paved road that you see here that used to be a dirt road, which we're lovingly calling Airport Road, by Danix. It's a free asset anybody can get out there on GTA 5 mods or wherever you get your modifications from. But Danix, or DNX, is who has made this free asset. And unfortunately, somebody stole his assets and started to try to sell them. So that kind of put a damper on things, and I don't think we're going to see a lot of assets coming from Danix anytime soon. Speaking of Danix, they are the author of this mod that you see here that you have seen people doing drifting on, that I have done drifting videos on and whatnot, and it has a little village at the top of Mount Chiliad. A lot of custom work here that was done. Again, another free asset by Danix, and it is really well done. You can see how the village comes down to the west side of the mountain with a little road that comes to an end here. But as you can continue, you go up the mountain even more, and there is a parking lot up at the top. There are a few interiors here in this little village, including a sheriff station and this little building over here as well. So there is some options when it comes to RP up in this little spot. A little bar, a little diner, whatever you want to call it, an outside seating area. So another really, really cool thing that I think brings a lot of life to Blaine County, and even with a 24/7 interior over here as well. Just basically the normal 24/7 interior that we've seen before. And if you come all the way up here to the very top of the mountain, you can see here is where the parking lot is. You've probably seen it in the drifting videos. You have some concessions here as well. Just what's really cool about this particular mod is not only is it free, one, but two, it seems so seamless with the world around it, and it doesn't feel out of place, which I think makes it a fantastic add-on. Down at the pier, we have our new Del Perro police station. This is part of the Del Perro project that Magnus has been working on. So we have a whole interior here for a small police station if we want to be based out of here on a bicycle or what have you. And speaking of bikes, you have the Soak and Spoke next door. That is another little shop that people can open up here and run for surfboards and bikes. And then as a sneak peek, this is one that's going to be added eventually. It's the 69th Diner here, and it has a full interior and kitchen, as well as an outdoor seating area for people as well. And all the way over here in Grapeseed, we have the new fleet, including the Ford Ranger that's been added. And we have the new revised CVPI with a new push bumper on it as well. Awesome, awesome car assets by Mr. Thero. And we have more to come, that is for certain. And all the way up here in Paleto Bay, you have seen, I'm sure, the new Paleto PD fleet that was released as well. We've got a Charger. We've got ourselves an Expedition. We've got a FPIU, a Ram, and the older Tahoe as well. All of these are very customizable. You can do whatever you want with the cars, similar to what we have seen before with Thero's models. And you can see that the actual livery is based on Ocala, Florida. If you're new as an LEO in OCRP, you might have missed this, but if you go into the vehicle options, go to the mod menu, this is where everything changes. You can change out the front bumper here to put the full wraparound bar on it. You can change out the rear bumper on this thing to have a bike rack, etc. Then you have the grill options for the bed there with the toolbox or the cover. And you can even have a back rack on it as well, and a camper shell if you want that as well. And then boom, if you go to 6, you can have the rack on top of the camper shell. So there's a lot you can do there as far as that goes. Ornaments here, that's going to change out the whole back to make it have a cage for a dog, or put certain shields on the windows and all that stuff. Seats, you can change those out as well on all these. Ice is all your different spotlight options. You do have options to change all those out. And then if you want to change your air filter fittings, this is how you get all your numbers on the roof. So if you want 1, 2, 7, you can easily do that as well. Arch covers and aerials are always going to be your front plate, and the aerials as well. And that's pretty much all of the customization you can do on these new models. Speaking of new models, we have these 2 new vehicles that are Storm Chaser vehicles by Paul Modifications. Even has a Mesonet script, although it is just kind of fabricated. It's not getting actual data out of the game, except for if there's rain present or not, basically. So we're back in Los Santos, and this is the new tower cab that we have at Los Santos International Airport. It's kind of far away from the airport, which is kind of weird, but it does function, and you can see all the airplanes out there whenever you are controlling. So speaking of doing air traffic control in OCRP, we can open up the ATC radar, and boom, you can see this is a full screen of any airplanes that are currently out there and operating. So I'm going to operate one for you and show you how that works. All right, we have one of the new airplanes that have been added, the Airbus A319, and we are now going to show you how to set up everything for the radar to work. So we need to go to T/call sign, and we can put United 127 there, and then we can do a T/squawk for the squawk code. We'll just put 3452 in there just randomly, and boom, that is done. To turn the transponder on, you would hit the 4 key, and to turn it off, you'd hit the 4 key as well. Currently, it's on by default. So now if I go to ATC radar, it opens this up, and give it a second. There we go. There's our little blip down here, United 127. We are currently squawking 3452. It shows us our current altitude and our airspeed as well. So when we have all the airplanes out here flying around, we're able to keep separation between all of them, and we know what's happening with each of the airplanes. Now, one cool thing I can do is I can squawk 7700. If I do squawk 7700, which is an emergency code, and I open up the ATC radar, you can see right here, we now have an EM for an emergency aircraft. If you ever need to do that. All right, we've pushed back from the gate. We're ready to taxi. We're gonna need to have a very important one. By Big Daddy Scripts, we have /heading, and this will open up a heading indicator at the very top. If you do it again, you will get a analog one in the top right corner if you're flying like a Cessna 172, which is really cool, but very important to have those accurate headings, especially with an ATC radar and having an air traffic controller on the other side. All right, so we're on final for runway 26 into Sandy Shores right now, and you can see we have our HUD on the left-hand side showing our altitude. That's the new HUD that we have moved over to, and we're going to be landing on runway 26. If I hit the 5 key, now we're going to start getting alerts as far as our altitude goes.
1,000.
There's the 1,000 call out, as you can see. So we're just going to continue heading this way towards the runway. Landing lights are on. We're clear to land runway 26 into Sandy Shores. Just a really nice HUD layout there with airspeed, our attitude indicator. There's the 500 call out.
200.
You can see how it's going down. It's a radio altimeter, so it's based off of how close we were to that mountain right there. So you always know how close you are to the ground no matter what. So we'll get those call outs again as we get closer to the runway here. And our altitude is coming down nice and easy here. We don't have to go full speed. Another script we have is by Toxic Scripts, 100. And that is allows you to just kill the engine power without
50,
shutting the engine off.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Retard.
There we go, just like that. So I'm holding the whole left trigger down, and it doesn't shut the engine off on the airplane at all. You're able to touch down, no problems there. So that is pretty much an overview of what we've got going on as far as aviation in OCRP. Some new airplanes we have added is the Piper Aerostar by Skyline there. We have a Cessna 172 SP, and then on the back row, you can see some new ones besides the A319 you saw me flying earlier. We do have the 737-200, we have a CRJ 700, and we have a CRJ 550 as well that have been added. So going back to our HUD, you can see that we have it all set up however we want because it is fully customizable. If I just go into our HUD config on this guy, I can change all of the location of everything, the colors of everything. It's really, really, really cool. You can see all the different setups here for boat, for airplanes, all of the player module itself, which is in the top right corner there. Then we have all this stuff that we don't use, priority and all that kind of stuff. But postal location is one, and you can move all the stuff around. You can even change the location of the mini map and the scale of it and the border for it as well. If at any time you want to hide it, you just do RHUD and then toggle. You hide it and then do it again, and boom, you have it back. Very seamless and a very clean HUD. Some changes are we now have the 1 key for our seatbelt itself, and the 9 key is now our hazards. Everything else is pretty much the same. If you double tap F with your seatbelt on, you'll get out of the car. No problem, because if you just click it once, it won't do it. So if I get in the car, I put my seatbelt on, you'll see it'll turn red there. Put it on, and I hit F once, it doesn't do anything. You have to double tap it. And if you want to use the keep the door open function, you have to double tap and then hold, and it'll keep the door open. You've probably noticed for the time being, U-Tool has been closed as it is getting a full rework by Magnus right now for the interior. It's currently killing a lot of frames, and that is the reason for its removal. The same can be said for the Mega Mall, as it is currently undergoing a rework as well, so it will return. Another sneak peek I can show you of things to come that are currently being tested by the beta testing team is the new Zero gas stations on this location, and also the one on West Eclipse over there near Vespucci. So it has a full Zero interior on it by Magnus. It is fantastic. It's really cool. I love the mat smashed up against the wall there. That's really neat. But all the signage is Zero. It's not a 24/7 or an LTD station, but very cool, and will add to more gas station RP down in the city. And if you weren't quite sure where I was talking about, it's Great Ocean Highway, West Eclipse, right here at 602. And this is the Zero gas station interior as well. I know some of the civs are very excited to have an actual Zero interior, myself included. So it's a welcome addition, and he did a great job on it. So that pretty much wraps up everything. I can tell you that there's a lot more in the pipeline to come. I'm currently in the process of moving all of our fire assets over, so a new fire script. I'm going with Z development on the fire script itself, the fire hose, and some of the other tools, such as a fan to remove the smoke and all of that stuff. I'm waiting on the hose script to be finished before I move everything over, as Z has gotten very close to that. So that's what I've got going on in OCRP at the moment. If you have any questions or anything like that, leave those in the comments below. And also, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button and consider subscribing as well. I never ask you guys, but that is always there for you to do. That'll do it. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.